welcome to day number 19. Just hanging out in my cozy little Flagg Ranch cabin here, putting off the departure a little bit, drinking another coffee. It's a good day off here. Had a little bit of drama with my resupply. I had 2 different boxes coming because it's an 8-day stretch, and one of them had like snacks for the day and the other one had the dinners. Turns out the dinner box didn't show up, so because of that, luckily Katie reached out to a good friend of ours that lives down near Jackson, and she came up for the day and totally hooked me up. She bought some groceries. She brought a whole bunch of jars of freeze-dried food, so I was just able to like pick and choose and create my own little meals for this next leg, which was freaking awesome. So huge shout out to Virgie for being there for me. Love you. Thank you. So far for the trip, we're at 240 miles. Section 1 and Section 2 is done, and in about a half hour I'll start Section 3, which is from Flagg Ranch to Pahaska Teepee. So I'll start by doing about a mile road walk to Sheffield Trailhead and then go up into the Teton Wilderness. So super excited. This is probably the wildest stretch. It's certainly going to be the most remote. At one point I'll be in the thoroughfare, which is, you know, the most remote place in the lower 48 in terms of proximity to roads. So that's going to be awesome, and there's supposed to be some great views of the Tetons these first couple days. So just gearing up, procrastinating a little bit, but once I finish this coffee I'm going to put the shoes on and make this happen. So we'll see you out there. Road walk was short and sweet, and just starting up Sheffield Creek, entering Teton Wilderness. Nice old climb up Huckleberry Mountain. Just had my first bear encounter of the trip. Black bear. I stopped at a creek and I heard like this tearing noise, and it's like tearing apart an old dead log like 100 yards away. And I yelled, and it kind of popped its head up, looked at me, and then stood up, and then kind of ran up the hill a little bit. Didn't go far, but ran up the hill a little bit, and it was kind of like keeping an eye on me while I got some water. So I am filtering water on the go with it on my pack rather than hanging out in that area. But that's pretty exciting. Beautiful view of the Tetons from up here. Check it out. Bam. Definitely wading through a beaver pond right now. Pretty sweet. I think I got my tent a little bit wet. Hey, babe. Coming through. Hey, Bert. Coming in. Hey, Bert. Coming in. Nice little trail I got here. Good evening, and just wrapping up day number 19. What a doozy. Big climb straight out of the gate. With the heaviest pack I've had so far this trip. I've got 8 days of food, so I definitely felt that even after a rest day yesterday. Made a bit of a change when I got up to Huckleberry. Originally I was going to go over Wildcat, which had been another big climb, and I was looking at the map when I took a break, and it said that Wildcat Peak Trail, which was like the connector trail I was going to use to get to Pilgrim Creek, it said not maintained on the map. So I was like, it's probably going to take me more time, big climb, and I just didn't want to deal with that with the fully loaded pack. So I went a different route. I went a little bit further north, and I went along Rodent Creek, which turned out to be its own crazy adventure. I probably crossed that creek like 20 plus times at least. Kept losing the trail. It would just kind of peter out in the thick shrubs. Waist deep in like a beaver pond at some point. Like I was looking over to the left, I could actually see the beaver hut, and then just like water balls deep, and got my tent a little bit wet, but it dried out because it was hanging out on the outside of my pack, which is cool. But man, what a struggle. I'm about 1.5 miles from where I intended to be, even with the reroute. So pretty close to where I wanted to be, but I found this cool spot, kind of open meadow. Colter Creek is down the hill for me. I'm on a little bench close to some other small feeder creeks. So got a good water source, got a good bear hang, beautiful view kind of in all directions, but damn, it feels wild out here. So I got what I'm asking for. So looking forward to next couple days. I'm curious to see, I keep envisioning like going around the corner and seeing like a fire pit and a dirt spot to put a tent, and real curious to know if that's going to happen or not, because right now I'm just kind of camped in the tall grass. So we'll see. Tomorrow is a new day, and I'll talk to you then. Just saw bear number 2. Same situation. I was looking at my map, and I heard like a log being torn apart. Jumped out of the tent, still kind of light, and like 250 yards up the hill there's a bear. Can't really tell if it's a grizz or a cinnamon colored black bear, but just tearing apart a log. So it made some noise. I don't know if I caught its attention or not, but it started moving up the hill and moved kind of like twice as far away while I was watching it, and then kind of disappeared in the trees. So welcome to bear country. Good morning and welcome to day number 20. Mileage for the trip is 254 miles. The plan for today is dry out my socks, as you can see I'm doing here with my trekking poles in the sun. I'm sure I'll cross some more creeks, but dry the socks out, dry the shoes out. In terms of the route, once we get back to Pilgrim Creek, which is kind of the original route, which is 1 or 2 miles from here, we'll take Pilgrim Creek eventually to Pacific Creek and follow Pacific Creek up, and eventually the plan would be to sleep around Enos Creek or Enos Lake. I don't think we'll get as far as Enos Lake, but Enos Creek in that area, around 15-16 miles. So we'll see how it goes. Well, it took me an hour and a half to go 1.5 miles, so things are shaping up today. It's just hard work. Trails is not there, and just lots of downfall and just a mess. But got up here, and there's another good view of the Tetons. You can see the Grand out there, which is pretty great. And I'm back on the original route after my little Rodent Creek reroute. So I feel good about that, and at some point maybe there'll be some smooth sailing miles today, but we'll see.
Just took a little soak in the Pacific Creek. You can see the Tetons in the distance. Feels good, hard day, but I got an awesome site for tonight. Stopped a little bit early just to get some relaxation in and enjoy the backpacking side of this whole thing. So cleaning up, filtering some water, and then I'm gonna climb back up the hill and I'll give you a little tour of the campsite. It's pretty cool. Definitely got to do a little campsite tour here. That's kind of the direction I'll be heading tomorrow. It's eastish. And I'm just up on a little bench here, right above Pacific Creek. It's just a beautiful little valley. After all the struggle today, it's so nice to see this wide open valley with lots of campsites. You can see the Tetons in the distance over there. Might have some thunderstorms rolling in here at some point, but beautiful spot, and I'm looking forward to taking some extra time here. I stopped at 5 today, so give myself a little extra time to enjoy it and not feeling like I'm spending every minute moving. So I took a little bath, I got my socks cleaned up, and I'm just gonna relax for a little while before I have dinner, kind of see what the weather does and then have some dinner. But beautiful spot. Good evening. Just wrapping up day number 20 in this beautiful valley. It's Pacific Creek back behind me, and really needed it today. It was rough going and just slow going. Everything's just taking a long time going through. Like this morning, it was like across the creek like 20 times and bushwhacking, and the trail disappears, and climbing up and over stuff and then backtracking. So this was a nice little treat at the end of the day. I've only hiked through the valley for about 2 miles so far. Found this cool campsite, so decided to stop early. But slow going out here in the Teton Wilderness so far. Takes all day to get 15 or so. I did 14 today, I think. Stopped at about 5 o'clock. But things are going well. Going to rest up, waiting for my dinner to be cooked up, and hit the trail again tomorrow. I'm contemplating route for tomorrow. I'm not really sure. Got a couple different options. This valley is so spectacular. The kind of choice I need to make is, do I keep following Pacific Creek up? One of the reasons that would be super cool is you can go up to 2 oceans and stand in a spot where Pacific Creek flows to the west and Atlantic Creek flows to the east, and you're like actually standing over a creek that like goes into both of them. So kind of a neat spot I could go to. So I'm gonna look at the map and do some research tonight, make a decision. Otherwise I'll be following Enos Creek past Enos Lake, which was kind of the original plan, but I'm gonna evaluate the mileage a little bit tonight and decide on that tomorrow. Have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow.
Good morning and welcome to day number 21. Big day today. Today is halfway. So I think like another 5 miles or so. And technically every step I take, I'm getting closer to home rather than further from home. So it's pretty awesome. So far for the trip, I've done 268 miles. The plan for today, I thought it over last night, and I'm not going to go up Pacific Creek. I'm going to stick with the original plan. So go Enos Creek towards Enos Lake today. Probably do about 15 miles. The goal really over the next 3 days is just to get within striking distance of the site that I've reserved in Yellowstone. So I just want to make sure that I'm close enough to that site that it's not like a 20-mile day or anything. But things are going well. I'm just about to pack up camp and head up Pacific Creek for a few miles before I turn off to Enos.
Yeah, babe. Coming in. Coming through. Holy crap, Teton Wilderness has been a challenge. It's like bushwhack, can't find the trail, and then you find this glorious trail that I'm on right now, and like killer view. I'm up on Divide Lake Trail. At the beginning, couldn't find it, just kind of bushwhacked, kind of following the route, and eventually came across this glorious trail. So I'm gonna take it while I have it. I don't have a lot of faith it's gonna stick around for long, but it's beautiful up here, and I'm not going 1 mile an hour, which is pretty sweet. So thanks to trail maintenance. Check that out. Up by Divide Lake. About to drop down to the meadow, maybe camp, but it is gorgeous. Well, the Teton Wilderness just continues to have it all. It's like 4:30 right now. Probably gonna end the day at the bottom of this descent, but man, it's been just like yesterday. Like, doesn't look too difficult on the map, but then, you know, just a combination of factors, constant crossing rivers, bushwhacking, losing the trail, all those things add up to just sucking time, and the mileage comes super slow. And at the end of the day though, there's these nice little rewards like I'm having right now. Got this epic view, and it's all downhill from here to Buffalo Fork. I'll probably camp there. It's not as many miles as I would have liked, but this is a backpacking trip, and it's about having fun too. So you can see the creek down on the bottom there, right there. When I get down there, I'm going to find a place to camp, and I'm going to enjoy myself. Now, it's so scenic, I think it's still going to take me some time to do this descent. Looking down in that's the North Buffalo Fork River down there, and it is just beautiful through here. Looks like there's going to be some good camping opportunities once I do get down there. This is the glamorous part of backpacking and crossing creeks, drying out all my stuff. It's all still super dirty, and these dogs are pruny as can be, but they're off for the day, and I got a beautiful evening and a killer view. So I'm gonna let these puppies dry out and treat them right when I get home. Good evening, just wrapping up day number 21. It's crazy, more than halfway, day wise and also mileage wise. Super excited about that. Another tough day in the Teton Wilderness. At moments the trail is just absolutely spectacular, the views are unbelievable, but you got to work for it. There's lots of spots where there's route finding and lots of horse traffic, it seems. So the trails just kind of migrate, you know. If you can tell, like over the years, depending on the horse traffic, they kind of pick different routes and abandoned old trails and things like that when a tree falls. And so there's kind of a little bit of genetic drift from what you see on the map. But overall, still doing it. You know, we did, or I did 12 miles today, camped at the, right next to, you know, maybe 100 yards away from the North Buffalo Fork River, which is beautiful. It's a beautiful valley. Tomorrow I head south from here for a little ways before I turn east and start actually going north, which is another exciting thing. saw several people today, which is new too. There was almost 3 days without seeing a single person. And there's at least one horse camp in the valley here. And I also ran into a Knowles group that was like 15 young women broken into three groups of 5. And the way I ran into them was super cool because I found a trekking pole during the day today. And I was like, there's no way that if the person's going to come back the same way, I'll just hang it on the next junction, next sign or something like that. Turns out there was no sign, no junction. So I just threw it in my bag, and I'd seen some footprints in front of me, so I figured they were around. I might see them in the next day or so. And I ran into this small group of 5 taking a break underneath a tree in the shade, and I asked them, and they're like, yeah, it's one of our friends. And it's kind of funny because then when I ran into the group that had the owner, they had already given me some information about her. So I was like, is your name Claire? And she was super freaked out. So it was a little awkward, but it was kind of funny, and I think all the girls had a good time with it. And I think they're gonna be camping in this valley somewhere too. I can see them getting water off in the distance right now. So pretty cool running into people. Definitely brings your energy up a little bit, and it gives you somebody to share these cool adventures with. So it's been fun running some people, and tomorrow we'll see what we get. Got about 40 miles or so to get to my permit in Yellowstone, which is 3 days from now. So I think we're looking good for that. I'm still kind of going, around 15 miles a day. Today was a little bit less, but things are good, feeling good. Tonight's my first veggie meal that I made out of all the freeze-dried ingredients she provided, and it's smelling awesome, so I'm pretty excited about that too. So thanks again, Virgil.